Can the Arizona Diamondbacks starting pitching get right against the Washington Nationals? We have more on the series win over the Yankees, the upcoming series against the Nats, and also an update on the House bill to improve Chase Field. All that in 30 seconds. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Dbacks show. It's Friday. Happy Friday, and here to you all. Welcome into another edition of the PHNX Dbacks show. My name is Derek Montilla, occasionally known as your mayor of PHNX, and thrilled to have you guys here. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful Friday. We have a preview of the upcoming series taking place this weekend in Washington, D.C. between the Diamondbacks and the Nationals, and we also going to talk a little bit about that House bill to improve Chase Field and why there might be a new wrinkle to it that's going to cause some problems. Kev, happy Friday to you. We got large, intimate Kev Thomas on the ones and twos. How is your Friday going, sir?
It was good. And Chad, I just want to say sorry for the music. I forgot that when, Shane Diefenbach produces, the D-backs lose. Because when I produce, the D-backs win. So I'm used to the win music already being there.
I know. It's sickening.
And so that's why that music was that way, Chad.
That music situation is absolutely sickening to me. And I don't know if there really is an apology that's big enough to make up for it, but I'll forgive you, I suppose. I'm planning on having a weekend of enjoying some fine music and this wonderful outdoor weather. Look, if you're not going to a reggae rise up like I am, or going to some sort of outdoor event, just go spend some time outside this weekend. I'm not going to tell you to touch grass. Maybe some of you should, but I will say go outside and enjoy this wonderful weather because it's going to be gone very fast. We're going to be right back up in the high 90s and 100s next week.
Gross.
And it's true. It's true. It's the reality of the situation. We live here in Phoenix, Arizona. In fact, we should be thankful it's actually been this cool out in April so far. I mean, I used to have pool parties for my birthday, Kev, when I was a kid, and my birthday is on March 24th. So that's usually already hot enough to be pool weather. But the Diamondbacks still fairly hot. They take 2 out of 3 against the New York Yankees. And despite losing that last game in kind of colossal fashion at first and then coming up short on the comeback, you got to really tip your cap to the Diamondbacks and what they were able to do. This Yankees team is very impressive offensively, and the Diamondbacks were able to hold them to a relatively decent amount of runs. I know things kind of got out of control there in the finale, but Zach Gallen, so good in his start against the Yankees once again. Career high, or ties a career high, 13 strikeouts. Should have had a career high at 14 strikeouts, but there he is. Zach Gallen, our king snake from that day, 6 2/3 innings pitched, 13 Ks, 3 hits allowed, no runs. Still our king snake probably for this whole series, in fact, because he deserves it for what he did against the Yankees. Corbin Burnes made his debut. He struck out 8, but was only able to go 4 1/3 innings pitched, mostly because of some defensive mistakes behind him, just some poorly played balls. Also, a good amount of lengthy at bats by the Yankees. You got to tip your hat to one Austin Wells, former Arizona Wildcat, who seemed to be up to bat every time Kevin was paying attention to this series at all.
Damn right. Bear down. Austin Wells, great mustache. Had to lose the series. But I'm glad that he got his.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That at bat was still very impressive. I thought it was never going to end, that at bat against Corbin Burnes. It ended up being 13 pitches. He ends up walking at the end of it. And unfortunately, there was some debate. Of course, there was a lot of people that had to come in, and rightfully so. Maybe it's my fault for putting that Corbin Burnes' debut was disappointing. I'm curious as to how you guys would categorize it. I know that 8 strikeouts is not disappointing. And the way he looked in the first 2 innings, once again, not disappointing. It was against a good Yankees offense, and again, a lot of it was due to a big defensive error. They allowed 2 runs to score that were unearned against Corbin Burnes. So I don't know. I'm just curious because, again, there was some feedback that you can't classify that as disappointing. I think as far as Corbin Burnes is concerned, he would probably call it a bit disappointing. I'm sure that they wanted some more length out of him. And yeah, again, his pitch count was up there where he really couldn't stay in that game much longer than that. But the Diamondbacks still managed to find a way to win that game and the series against the Yankees. And they've done it with their offense. Their offense has been pretty good. The Diamondbacks have homered in each of their first 7 games for just the 4th time in franchise history. So that's pretty impressive. And among teams with 7 games played or fewer, the Diamondbacks are ranked 3rd offensively, and the Yankees that they just beat are ranked 1st. So again, an impressive showing in New York. It's the lights are pretty bright in that situation, and for all intents and purposes, you have to be pretty satisfied with the way that Zach Gallen showed up. Like I said, maybe Gallen was so good that he drained some of Merrill Kelly's life force, because Merrill Kelly, again, uncharacteristically bad. Never have we seen him give up 9 earned runs in a game like this. And it was coming off of Merrill Kelly being the strongest starter, quite frankly, the first time through the rotation. It's not to say anybody had terrible starts. I mean, Zach Gallen's was a bit disappointing on opening day, but Merrill Kelly only gave up 1 earned run in his first outing. So I do know that there's some cause for concern. Some people were already talking about replacing Merrill Kelly with Ryan Nelson in the lineup. And again, I will just implore you as a baseball fan to at least wait until the sample size is big enough to be concerning, right? You can't really get too high on the wins, especially when guys get hot and go on a stretch, and you can't expect them also when they're in the slump to be bad forever. But one bad start by a starting pitcher against, quite frankly, an offense that was probably feeling a bit embarrassed after losing the 2 games to the Diamondbacks in the fashion that they did, then they were going to do everything they could to come out, have some patient at bats. Merrill just really wasn't landing his changeup, and it leads to, again, that really bad outing. I will say that guys respond to those situations in different ways. Zach Gallen, obviously, he came out ready to play against the Yankees. We know in the past that Gallen tends to pitch better in cold weather, so I'm sure that played a factor. But overall, a great series for the Diamondbacks. And let's be honest, they came pretty close there to a sweep of the New York Yankees. Impressive after the history that the Yankees had already set so far in their first 3 games of the season. Let's take a look at the numbers for the entire series here, presented once again by our friends at Desert Financial. Thank you to them for getting me in my home and getting me started on my home ownership journey. Diamondbacks brought some runs home here, outscoring the Yankees 18-17 in the series. The Yankees out-homered the Diamondbacks 7-4. Runners in scoring position in the series, Diamondbacks were 7 for 26 to the Yankees 4 for 21. The Yankees were 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position in the first game. Starting ERA, 6.75 there for the Diamondbacks. Not great, inflated quite a bit there by Merrill Kelly's outing of just 3 2/3 innings and 9 earned runs allowed. Yankees ERA 4.96. Not bad considering the guys that they had start for them, especially Carlos Carrasco. But yeah, going back to that relief ERA also, the relief ERA for the Diamondbacks, pretty good, 3.18. The Yankees, 7.60. Relief pitching has been really good in this series, but, AJ Puck, the guy that we all were excited to see get those high leverage opportunities, possibly be named the closer of this team, he hasn't really had a strong start to his season, allowing a couple of home runs so far already. Got to tip your cap, though, again, to Jalen Beeks and Shelby Miller, what they've done. Shelby Miller has not allowed an earned run and has just looked absolutely outstanding. They put him in the game in late inning. I believe he came in the 8th inning yesterday, and just you can't not be excited about Shelby Miller. I mean, not only is it a great pickup, but it was an opportunity that had injuries to Kevin Ginkel and Jordan Montgomery not occurred. Who knows if Shelby Miller would have been given this opportunity, right? And Jalen Beeks, again, same situation. A guy that they added simply, as Mike Hazen said, because they felt like they should add a guy when they had an opportunity to. It was a few days before regular season starts, and they knew that once the regular season started, it would be much more difficult to get a guy like that due to commitments to teams and minor league deals that might happen and things like that. And both of those guys have been outstanding additions to this bullpen. Diamondbacks needed that. They needed some guys that they could rely on, especially when their starters don't have a strong outing. But the Diamondbacks very much need their starters to bounce back. Like, they can't keep applying this pressure to the bullpen. They can't have Jalen Beeks and Shelby Miller pitching this often and expect those guys to be able to hold up. And you also have the fact that Torey Lovullo deserves some criticism about his roster construction, especially considering that it didn't really feel like he was going for the jugular there in the finale against the Yankees when he had them in a position to complete the sweep. But once again, overall, Zach Gallen, it's hard not to give that king snake of the series there to Zach Gallen for his performance, 13 Ks. And it's what I said there about Merrill Kelly. One bad outing does not necessarily mean that a starter is flaming out, is at the end of his at the end of his career, washed up, done, board him up and put him away, right? Like, no, a bad outing sometimes, especially against a really good team, can just be a one-off. It's definitely worth concern, and it's definitely something to monitor when it comes to Merrill Kelly, but it's the same with Zach. Zach, one great outing doesn't necessarily mean Zach is back, but it does mean that this looks much more like the Zach Gallen we come to know and love and put at the top of our starting rotation as our ace. So it's incredible. Great to see the Journey here. My man made another live show. Let's go. Journey says, absolutely love this podcast. Love it even more when the D-backs score more runs than the Yankees in a series. That always makes things better, doesn't it? The Journey. He says, Shelby Miller for closer 2025. Can't believe I'm saying that. This is the Twilight Zone. Yeah, I don't know how to frame it other than that. It did very much feel like that when I was fist pumping and getting excited about the bullpen. Alex Schmidt says Zach is back though. I hope so. I want Zach to be back. Again though, we're just 2 starts into the season for both of these guys. Like, we can start panicking, in May. Again, I feel that same way that we can really start criticizing Torey if he continues to put out a lineup that's missing 2 of his best players and an opportunity to take a game against, the Yankees. I don't really feel like Marte and Moreno's absence in the finale made that big of an impact. The Diamondbacks were still able to score 7 runs. You got Jerry P getting the grand slam. A lot of good things happened. And the offense, again, continues to be able to keep up and generate runs. It's really been the starting pitching up to this point. And that's been a detriment. I mean, honestly, nobody's had a fantastic start outside of that Zach Gallen performance. And rightfully so, maybe Merrill Kelly deserves some credit for his first start of the year. But they have to do everything they can at this point to win every game. And I understand the panic of people when the Diamondbacks lose a game that they came very close to coming back and winning. The entire NL West won't stop losing games. I don't understand it. I don't understand how we're in this point. Someone blamed me the other night because of the fact that we had the Dodgers game was on. Dodgers were down, looking forward very much to their first loss. And maybe I was looking too much forward to their first loss because it didn't happen. Who was it? Shohei Ohtani hit a walk-off in that game. It's gross, Kevin. I'm sick of this team. I'm sick of this team so much. I'm sick of this entire division, to be honest.
It's nasty. Shohei for prison. I wanted to ask you one question about Shelby Miller really fast.
Oh, let's do that.
What do you think has been the most discernible change from his first run to this run as to why fans feel so differently about Shelby Miller?
Well, success, frankly, right? People will rally around you if you're successful. It's really, it comes down to the Diamondbacks gave up a tremendous amount to acquire Shelby Miller. Fans were not happy with the Diamondbacks doing that for a guy that came over and didn't perform. This franchise just seems to have this history of bringing in starting pitchers that we see on another team that are just, shoving, and we somehow acquire them, and then they don't end up being that. They don't end up being as advertised. They are not the player that we went out and got. Shelby Miller reinvented himself. I believe he said a changeup was a big reason for his change, and the success he's had. I also think maybe accepting the bullpen role and just trying to be the best relief pitcher that he could be is a big reason why he's been able to find this success. It's just a great story because of the way the fans feel about Shelby Miller, the way the fans felt towards the organization for the deal that brought Shelby Miller here. And I mean, you had a fun little matchup already there between Dansby Swanson and Shelby Miller in the first series against the Cubs. I think the big thing about it is people want players to be good on their team. They want these guys to shove. They want, like, the Shelby Miller thing was just disappointing because he didn't perform at the level that the Diamondbacks or fans expected him to, or the level that he was performing prior to bringing him over. That's where players become a disappointment. I think the problem sometimes as fans is that, once again, you have people already wanting Merrill Kelly to be removed out of the starting lineup for Ryan Nelson based on the fact that Ryan Nelson was able to come in, give the Diamondbacks some length out of relief, and do what he did against the Yankees, right? It's that quick sometimes, and I think that's where fans need to have a little bit more patience. However, I also understand in the case of someone like Shelby Miller giving up a draft pick like Dansby Swanson and, not having it work out, how frustrating, it was for the fans. And I can tell you, no matter how frustrated as a fan you are, it's even more frustrating for the front office. Excuse me. I got excited because I saw people in the chat saying the Padres finally lost today. It's a goddamn miracle. It is a miracle. Let's go. Alex Schmidt says, curious if we have an opinion on AT versus McCarthy at this point. Jake starts against lefties. Today he's starting versus a righty. Bat is dead so far, and I like AT's defense more. Honestly, I hate to say this. I don't have a commitment to either guy. I feel like the competition should bring out the best in both of these guys, but Jake McCarthy has been really in a slump right now at the dish. And again, that kind of goes back to the Shelby Miller thing, right? Like, you want the guy that's doing better. And overall, we've seen Jake McCarthy struggle at the dish and have one pretty memorable, missed catch in the outfield that looked like something not only he should catch, but something that you feel confident Alek Thomas would have caught. So I understand the impatience there, and there's going to be a lot of impatience. I'll tell you that. If you're a fan of the Diamondbacks, you're going to have impatience with this team at times because Torey Lovullo is never going to put out his best lineup. He'll do that in the postseason. He'll do that closer to the end of the year. He'll ride, the hot hand, and he'll do things like that. But in April, in May, he's going to continue to try to build confidence in guys, especially guys that are struggling. And I mean, again, there's also going to be the injury factor that weighs in on his managing too, but there's a lot of other things that matter to Torey Lovullo that they don't matter to us as fans. It's just a difference of opinion. We fans saw what happened last year, and they did too, and Torey did too, but we want them to win every game, and we don't want there to be even a single game like there was on yesterday against the Yankees where we don't feel like Torey put out his strongest lineup to beat a pretty significant foe, right? Like a pretty important series, a pretty important game. And that's how you're going to feel as a fan. And I don't think you're going to change your opinion in regards to that. I really do feel like we're always going to want the best, strongest lineup out there, and we're always going to want to win today. The Diamondbacks have this, shirt, the mystery shirt we're talking about, where me, Nick Picoro, and Steve Gilbert were playing, detective and trying to figure out the symbolism and what all the things means. But, again, it's one of those things where, they want you to own the day, and they want every day to be one, and they want it to be now. Like, now is the important time, right? So it's weird because as much as they want that mantra to carry on, that now is important and you got to win today, that Torey Lovullo still manages in the way that he does. Frankly, he has to. If he redline this team and put out the best players all the time, guys are going to get injured. They're going to wiped before we get to July, and it's just not necessarily the way that a manager has to manage a roster, especially a roster that they feel is deep enough to allow Torey to manage like this. But it doesn't help that here we are celebrating the Padres finally losing their first game, right? This is insane. So now we have an 8-0 Dodgers team, a 7-1 Padres team. The Giants are 5-1. Have they lost yet? I hope they lose the game. And then there's the Diamondbacks sitting somehow in 4th place after winning a series against the a series against the Yankees and splitting a series against the Cubs, which feels pretty good. Sitting in 4th place at 4-3. And because that doesn't feel good, I think it's time, Kevin, to bring back something that we haven't done in a while. And I think it's time for me to throw shade at the National League West. Why do we have to play in this godforsaken hellscape of a division known as the National League West? Are you kidding me? Every single day we have to hear about the Dodgers making franchise history with their historic start, first team to win a World Series to come out and do blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I hate it, and I hate them, and I hate Major League Baseball. Can we do something about this? If this continues, we're going to get to a point at the end of the year where you're going to have like multiple 90-win teams in one division and only 2 of them are going to make the playoffs. I hate it. I hate these stupid California teams. I'm sorry, Colorado, you can actually sit this one out. I'm actually not talking to you at all at any point during this rant. But the rest of you make me absolutely sick to my stomach. Not to mention the fact that the Giants almost got Corbin Burnes. Could you imagine living in that terrible alternate timeline right now where Burnes is a Giant and we don't have him on our team and we still lost Jordan Montgomery for the season? I don't want to live there. That sounds horrible. What also is horrible is the fact that the Padres should be crumbling as an organization with the internal fighting over the ownership. But do we get that? No. We get their players banding together and playing the best baseball that they've ever played as a group in, 70 years or 50. I don't care. I hate them. I hate the National League West. And I have absolutely had it up to here with this division. I hate it. Do you see what happens in the Centrals? Can we move to one of the Centrals? I don't think that they're one of the teams, and then what is it? The AL Central I don't even think they have a winning division or a winning team in the division. I hate it here. What did we do to get stuck in this godforsaken division with yet another Los Angeles team? All right. I think I'm done. Kev.
That was a lot. But I thank you for sharing. Everyone appreciates you. And also, you're right. The American League Central, everyone is under 500 right now.
And Shane needs help with this. Oh, no, that's the American League West. Central is terrible, and it's going to be terrible. And the Astros are going to be terrible. They're all going to be terrible. But all right, well, BC, I hope you enjoyed that. I'm sure you had a good chuckle. And you know what? We're going to talk some more. Not about this series because I'm done with I'm done with the National League West. I'm done with the Yankees, but I'm ready to move on to the Washington Nationals, where we absolutely need this starting rotation to bounce back and be what we thought they could be. We're going to talk about that on the other side of this break. Don't you guys go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondbacks show. Well, I'm still wearing my shades because the fine folks at Shady Rays always have your back, and I actually lost yet another pair of my Shady Rays, and I'm sure they're going to be sick of me. But let me tell you, their lost and broken replacement plan will help me out, and hopefully they help you out if you are forgetful like me. I'm not forgetful. I don't normally lose my sunglasses like this, but thanks to Shady Rays and Damon reminding me while I was mad about losing them, I know that I can hit them up and get my sunglasses replaced. Also, if you do not love your brand new Shady Rays that you get online, you can exchange them for a new pair or return them worry-free within 30 days. The Shady Rays team always has your back. Just remember, it's impossible to survive an Arizona summer without a quality pair of sunglasses. So make sure to check out the hundreds of frames and design combinations that you can find over at Shady Rays. If you are a skier or snowboarder, Shady Rays has a brand new collection of snow goggles to help you see clearly and look good on the slopes, available in both adult and kid sizes. PHNX viewers and listeners, go to shadyrays.com and save 35% off polarized sunglasses with code PHNX. Over 300,000 people have tried Shady Rays and rated them 5 stars, so use code PHNX today at shadyrays.com. Also, of course, stop by Circle K. After my little rant, I've got a little frog in my throat and I need a good drink. And that is where I stop to get a Polar Pop. You can stop there for all of their wonderful drinks that they have. And if you haven't signed up for the Inner Circle promotion for free, you can do so right now. Their rewards program will get you all sorts of coupons. You'll get your first 5 Polar Pops for free, and you'll save 25 cents off per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. So you also save 3 cents off per gallon every day after that. There's plenty of other member exclusive deals and discounts to be found in the app. And on April 10th and April 24th, Inner Circle members can save 40 cents per gallon from 6 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. Don't forget also, they are having their big giveaway, the Circle K big giveaway, where you can enter to win cash, prizes, and more. Visit circlek.com/big-giveaway for that. But more importantly, make sure you join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit circlek.com for details. All right. I'm going to bring JJ back in here because his ears didn't need to hear me shout about the NL West. He's heard me scream about the NL West plenty. Instead, we're going to talk a little bit about the NL East and the upcoming matchup with the Washington Nationals. The Arizona Diamondbacks kind of beat up on the Nationals over the last couple of years. Since 2022, the Dbacks have a 14-5 record against these Nationals. And in fact, Lourdes Gurriel is currently on a hitting streak against them. He has hit in 10 straight games versus the Nationals, dating back to August 18th, 2021. Kev, I am not concerned about the offense necessarily in this one, though we're going to take a look at the pitching matchups. And so far, honestly, the ERAs for the Nationals starters look better than the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, but we talked about it on the show, and people in the chat have acknowledged it as well, that it's a small sample size, and the boys are just getting warmed up. You know what I mean? Like, we know that the pitching staff is talented, and we'll figure it out. But yeah, some uncharacteristic defensive errors for sure so far this season is what has me more so worried, but I'm not too concerned. Like, I feel like they're going to clean that up. But yeah, you're right. The offense is not the concern heading into this series.
I will say now is a good time to have those defensive mistakes early on in the season, work them out, and also make them memorable. Like, do you think Josh Naylor is going to forget how he floated that toss to Corbin Burnes over at first base? I doubt it. So fundamentals are important. And again, just goes to show how critical they can be at a big moment in a game just like that. But this Nationals team, they've only won 1 game. And it feels like the right time for the Diamondbacks starting pitching rotation to kind of get right against this team. I don't want to dismiss them because I think that's sometimes the biggest problem possibly with the Diamondbacks. I said it about their performance against Carrasco in the Yankees game. Like, maybe they just thought that they were going to rake against him, and yet he still, I mean, he didn't have a perfect outing. He still gave up 3 earned runs, but he did a good job of holding the Diamondbacks in check. Let's take a look here at the pitching probables for the upcoming series with the Nationals. We have Brand Pfaadt on the mound in the first game against Jake Irvin. Eduardo Rodriguez there going in game 2 against Michael Parker. And then Corbin Burnes going up in game 3 against the notorious TBD.
That ERA is nasty.
It's a nasty ERA. Parker's ERA there at 0, not bad. Mitchell, I did say Michael Parker, it's Mitchell Parker. But the Diamondbacks ERA not looking great. Just one game, just one start, not super concerned. But if you look at the current team ERA, it's not great, right? The Diamondbacks right now, if my calculations are correct, and as you know, they probably aren't, but the starting ERA for this team is currently 5.60. And I mean, we talked about the first time through the rotation, I believe it was 4.68. Big part of the reason why it's so high now, again, is Merrill Kelly's 9 innings and 3 2/3 start. But this is just not what we want. This is the exact kind of situation, just overall as an average, that the Diamondbacks found their starting pitching staff in last season, where on paper, you look at these guys, you look at Pfaadt, Rodriguez, Corbin Burnes, Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly starting rotation. You're like, hell yeah, that's fire me up. That's sub 3 stuff right there, or at least sub 4 ERA collectively as a team. But that is not the case right now. And I mean, this could very much be the Diamondbacks' chance to feast a little bit for those starters to go out, not only give the team some length, but help lower that ERA and have some good performances. I do believe all 3 guys could do that against this Nationals lineup. And again, it's, you got Kybert Ruiz, who is having a pretty good season right now with a 381 average and a 1.149 OPS. Nathaniel Lowe still doing the thing himself. He's 304. He's got 2 home runs this season, 6 RBI, and a 1.1012 OPS. And I mean, honestly, not a terrible lineup, but again, it's a small sample size, and it's a Nationals team that hasn't performed well this season. But again, that's why you hope that on a road trip like this, after facing a Yankees team, that those bats don't look nearly as fearsome as Aaron Judge being in there every couple of batters, right? And it's a Nationals team that right now hasn't found a way to get their season kicked off. Let's see. Jordan says, late, but I'm still mad we lost. No plans to wear my Corbin jersey as an experiment to see if it's cursed. I am a man of science, Jordan, and I often don't believe in curses, and yet I still absolutely believe in curses. Everything I just said was a lie. I always believe I personally am impacting a baseball game. I will tell you, revealing behind the curtain, Kevin has already had a chance to experience this. I truly feel like what I write in my rundown as the results of the game go on impact the game. I think my rundown is a magic tablet, and that as I put things like, if I put Diamondbacks win game against Yankees, all of a sudden the Yankees start coming back. I did it in the loss yesterday, and all of a sudden Geraldo Perdomo hit a grand slam to reverse the thing. So maybe I'll just put Diamondbacks lose to start every single game on the headline, and maybe that'll work to reverse the jinx or whatever. It seems to be the opposite of whatever I do there for sure.
It extends out of the rundown as well. Like Derek, we all know about the spot, the box. Derek is also not afraid to hide in our office and close the door, watch the game through the glass.
You don't have to tell them about me hiding in the office. Like it's more of a
These are superstitions, Derek.
It's not a superstition.
It's
just
We're
I told you,
you.
I have to. I need something to protect me from the Diamondbacks, and that thing is your office door. And I could look out the window. I could hide safely in the office, away from the Diamondbacks, and I could stare out the window and still see the TV in the lobby. Sean says we lost because Derek used the S word. You're probably right. I did do that. Someone called me out on that right away. And yeah, that's probably on me. The Journey says, can we talk about how excited Tori was on the broadcast when talking about getting to ride the train from New York to DC? Hey man, I'll tell you, we made a little road trip to Chicago, and I couldn't get enough of riding the trains in Chicago. I really couldn't. I had a good time. I'm sure they're riding in a much more luxurious train than like what the Red Line that we were riding on, or whatever we were riding on there in Chicago. So I'm sure their trip is much nicer. But yeah, I don't hate on trains. One time I took a train ride entirely too far from Syracuse, New York, here to Phoenix, Arizona. It took 3 days, and I'll never forget it. I'm still traumatized by the experience.
Bring back train travel.
No, don't.
Yes.
No.
What do you mean no?
No, I don't want that.
It's one of the best forms of travel.
I want to get there as fast as possible. I am staying in a hotel in Tempe, Arizona this weekend simply because I don't want to drive from Tempe all the way to my house at night. I don't want to do it. I'm just going to stay there. And that's it's my favorite type of vacation because I don't have to travel as part of it. I don't have to fly in a plane. I just have to drive from this office over to Tempe, and that's where I will be staying this weekend. But no, I don't want train travel.
We need
travel to be faster, Kevin. We need to have portals that we can walk through and instantly be in the place we want to be.
I mean, I agree with you. That'd be awesome. And also, I don't think train travel for like short distances. But if we're talking like cross country, train travel is awesome.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
Make it more efficient.
Charles Woodall Pike says Derek is a magic user, still trying to figure out his powers. I'm struggling with that, but yes, there is something there. There's something there. I don't know. They didn't. My future telling powers didn't work so well in Las Vegas, but somehow they worked well when I came back. But yeah, no. I mean, this Nationals team again, not the most fearsome lineup that the Diamondback starters need to go out there and worry about, but. Again, it's about tightening things up and hoping that we see the starting rotation give the Diamondbacks the link that we should be seeing, right? Like, too many starts. We got 4 innings, 5 1/3, 6 by Brand Pfaadt in his first start, 5 1/3, 4 1/3, 6 2/3, 3 2/3. Diamondbacks have 2 outings so far this season in 7 games where their pitcher went 6 innings or more. And I mean, honestly, based on the caliber of the pitching and the talent, that shouldn't be the case. There should be some more length here from these starters. Hopefully that's what we will see in this series. Offensively, it would be great to see Corbin get back to what we were seeing in spring training there a bit, especially before he experienced that back tightness. And it would be, it'd be great to see Alek take a step up. Jake starting today, so hopefully Jake can get things back online and get some hits. We want all these guys to definitely get right this season, and that's something important for some of the guys struggling offensively, but mostly right now for the starting pitching, because you can't put this much pressure on the relievers this early in the season. On the other side of this break, we have some stuff to talk about, and that stuff to talk about is maybe boring mayoral politics, procedural stuff, but it does impact Chase Field and how they are going to potentially get money to continue to stay at Chase Field and make that building a better place to play baseball. So maybe that's in jeopardy a little bit here. We're going to talk about it on the other side of this break. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondbacks show. Well, whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. Of course, Bet365 always makes watching baseball games more fun. They also make betting live in-game more fun. They pioneered live in-game betting, and they offer the widest range of games and markets available for live in-game betting across 78 sports. Right now, with the MLB early payout offer, you can get an early payout if your team goes up by 5 runs or more. Same game parlay and parlay selections are also marked as winners. So make sure to get down on that. Bet on the Diamondbacks in this series. I think that's a safe bet against this Nationals team. And now I probably went ahead and cursed them again. But regardless of the situation, make sure you check out Bet365. It always makes betting on sports more fun. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets when you sign up using our code of PHNX365 and bet $5, win or lose. All you got to do is sign up, use that code of PHNX365, deposit $10, and place a bet of $5 or more to receive $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Those bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. So whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or over and physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, text NEXT STEP to 53342, or visit problemgambling.az.gov. We've been talking about Carol Royce and her team helping you get into your dream home, and that is exactly who you should look to if you are in the market for a new home. Whether you are a new buyer, inexperienced home buyer, or a seasoned vet, can look to Carol Royce to help you form a game plan to get you into your exact home. We met Carol here in the office, and she is a tremendous lady. She's been here in the Valley for years. She has been a season ticket holder of our teams here in the Valley. And most importantly, I don't think you'll find anybody that knows local real estate the way that Carol Royce and her team do. Can look to them to not only help you create a financial game plan on how you can get ultimately to your dream home. She can help you with financing. She can help you buy a starter home and then get you down the road, get that home sold for you, get you in your dream home. She can also definitely help you out with homes that you just won't find on the market. She has access to off-market homes that you won't find on Zillow or Realtor. So make sure you look to Carol Royce. If you're ready to find your dream home, take the next step. Call Carol Royce at 480-776-5231 or visit Carol online at carolroyceteam.com. Tell them PHNX sent you. That's carolroyceteam.com. Terms and conditions do apply. Well, I know we were having fun. I know it's Friday. And so that's why I totally want to bring the mood down and talk about House Bill 2704 and updates to that. I know no one wants to hear about this. I think we all just want this to be done and over with, Kevin. And it was passed by a vote of 4-3 by the Arizona Senate Finance Committee. And that was on my birthday, March 24th. The bill actually, though, has been amended, and the amendment to the bill might be a problem. It might be a problem. The amendment for the bill states that the county, Maricopa County, who does own that building, must contribute money equal to the city of Phoenix. Kevin,
how are you feeling about that? As our resident mayor, how are you feeling about these mayoral activities going down without they're not even consulting you, Derek?
Well, there's that. I don't like that. I think that I definitely should have been consulted by this. But here's the catch. The county doesn't have the excise tax, meaning that money the county would pay would have to come out of the general fund. What I mean by that is the tax that I'm talking about is the tax where it is generated by the taxes collected at Chase Field on premise. The amendment puts the county burden for stadium upkeep on the backs of us, taxpayers. It goes into a reserve fund. It goes to property taxpayers rather than those who visit the stadium. So the city of Phoenix's portion would be generated by those taxes, by the income taxes from people that work at Chase Field, including the players. It would be generated by the taxes, sales tax at vendors and food. But what they're essentially have done to amend this bill is to say that now Maricopa County would have to come up with an equal amount of money, and that money is not the money generated at Chase Field by the stadium tax. It is money that would have to come from a general fund. Right now, the only money that Maricopa County generates is for the purpose of Chase Field is the non-baseball events. So when they have those concerts down there at Chase Field, the big, the Hondo Rodeo and the Green Day concert and all that stuff that they've had down there, that Chase Field hosts, and it's beyond that too, right? It's private functions, it's other events. The Chase Field, even though it's those big concerts and things like that, there's many functions held at Chase Field, which is, according to this article, it was more than 150 a year, goes into a reserve fund to pay for ballpark upkeep. So that is where Maricopa essentially gets money generated from, funds generated from, to help with the improvement and upkeep of Chase Field. Now, that seems to be a problem. I will say that the fact that they are expecting Maricopa County to generate the same amount of money that this stadium tax is going to generate, it doesn't seem likely, and it seems to have a much bigger impact. The complaint about the stadium tax money going towards the upkeep of the stadium and stadium improvements is the fact that that money is being taken away, obviously, from other resources that it could go to, right? Civil resources, teachers, police, firemen, hospitals, all that kind of stuff, right? So there's that, but this is different because this is literally asking Maricopa to generate this, and they have no source to generate it from other than taxpayers. And now what they're going to do is this bill is going to now be potentially like it's that portion of the argument where you're going to get taxpayers involved that don't want to pay for a billionaire stadium, the same way that we've seen that time and time again when it comes to taxpayer money being used for something like this. It's going to become more contentious, right? It did feel, honestly, like this is a joke, but it felt like the way the Diamondbacks were giving out contract extensions and giving Burnes a big contract, that this deal was a slam dunk because the income tax generated by those contracts goes to help improve the stadium. So why not give out a whole bunch of money to players? It makes sense of why they're spending. But again, that's just wild speculation on my part. In this case, though, there is a lot of money that's going to be generated by this tax. So it would be an equally large portion that would need to be generated by Maricopa County. And I don't know how they're going to do it. Governor Katie Hobbs was on KTAR a few days ago, and she seemed fine with the bill as it was. When asked if she would change anything about the way the bill is currently constructed, she said, no, there was nothing she would change. She said, I really just want to get good policy that we can get the most agreement on and make sure we're keeping Major League Baseball in Arizona. It's a very political answer. Trust me, I know. I specialize in those. But of course, we want to get the most agreement on it. Of course, we want good policy, and we want people to be satisfied with the end result here. However, I do think that this amendment to the bill is going to complicate things substantially. And once you start bringing in, taxpayer money from people who have no interest in having a baseball team here or keeping Chase Field updated and renovated, then there's going to be a bigger pushback on the idea of this bill getting pushed through. But she did say, in the good news in regards to this bill, she said if the bill gets to her desk, Hobbs said if she would sign it, she said at this point, yes. So we have confirmation from Governor Katie Hobbs there that should this be able to get through, the Senate and get to her desk, then we'll see it approved. So I think it's something that is absolutely needed when it comes to Chase Field. And I don't know. I mean, this has always been such a bad situation. This has always been such, a finger pointing situation when it comes to who owns it and who's responsible and who's this and who's that, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I brought it up, but we saw the Celtics, right, as a franchise get sold with no building attached to their franchise because the building is owned by the Bruins, right, in Boston. This is a similar situation, right, where the Diamondbacks franchise does not own Chase Field, technically, and Maricopa County is the weird slumlord that doesn't want to really do anything to keep up their own property. I think it's a mismanagement all the way around, and I understand the Diamondbacks' frustration in this. I feel like this bill personally is not the greatest, it's not the greatest situation. I, as a taxpayer, just like a lot of taxpayers, don't want my money going to pay for stadiums. However, when the county that I live in owns the stadium, then yeah, I guess I kind of understand it, right? At the end of the day, that's just something. Lunar Forte says the income tax portion of the bill has been removed in the latest amendment. See, that was something that was very interesting for me in regards to how big of a contribution that was going to come, especially when you're talking about the salaries of major league players. So the income tax portion of the bill being removed definitely lowers the overall total commitment of the dollar amount to the team or in the situation. So I guess it brings it down a little bit closer to something that the Maricopa County might be able to match, and that amount provided by Maricopa County would make up for that lost revenue from the income portion. But Sean says they just love making us sweat with this Chase Field thing, pun intended. They really do in multiple ways. I was there on like opening day and I was sweating. It wasn't even hot out, but I had a pretty busy day that day. I think we all just, again, it's phrasing when Katie Hobbs says something like, she says, make sure we're keeping Major League Baseball in Arizona, that makes your stomach kind of turn as a Arizona sports fan and probably as a Coyotes fan, right? We know how fast those situations can go from being like this to contentious to being without a team. So nobody wants that. And we still know that this is a situation that everybody needs to figure out. And there's still not a lot of time to do so. The clock is ticking. But we got more Diamondbacks news in regards to what they're going to be doing in 2026. Playing a regular season game in Mexico City. That sounds like a lot of fun. Going to talk about that. But first, I want to tell you guys about our new lineup of shirts. Kevin, we got our new shirts. It is the Year of the Snake over at our merch shop. There's some new designs. Throw those back up. I need to see those on screen. Oh, that's the wrong. We're not spying on our X's today. We got those snakes. I love especially the old school colors here, right? It's once again why I have to go out on my tangent about still knowing nothing about the City Connect jerseys. We got our purple and teal Go Snake shirt, a red and teal Go Snake shirt. Those go hard, but nothing goes harder than JJ there wrapped around a baseball. So of course, make sure check it out. 4 fresh designs. Get them before they sell out. Head over to gophnx.com and hit the merch tab to get yours today. And don't forget, diehards get that 20% off. So make sure to get yourself some new merch for the season. I know I could use some new merch. I need some new PHNX stuff myself, but I would probably be wearing it and attending a game in Mexico City should that happen. According to an article from The Athletic, the Arizona Diamondbacks will be playing that series with the San Diego Padres, which never happened back in 2020, in 2026. That's right. Padres, Diamondbacks are likely to meet up for a regular season series next year in Mexico City. The games would be held at Estadio Alfredo Harp Helú, named for the Mexican millionaire that is the minority owner of the Padres. A little conflict of interest there. It's almost like a home game there for the Padres. And it should be, because the Padres have played a lot of games in Mexico, a lot of regular season games in Mexico. San Diego and the Diamondbacks were actually scheduled to play this. This would have been Major League Baseball's first ever regular season games in Mexico City back in 2020. But then that two game series got canceled because a worldwide pandemic broke out. You remember when that happened? Those were good times. Mexico finally did host a game in 2023. It was the Padres versus the Giants. The Padres swept that 2-game series over the Giants. And then the Astros played there the next year against the Colorado Rockies. So we've had the Giants, Padres, and Rockies all play in Mexico City before us. And we are the ones with a jersey that says Serpientes. Make it make sense.
Derek, also on the topic of international baseball, I know you wanted to talk a little bit about your favorite international stadiums today.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, where would you want to go watch it? Like, I like the idea of going to Mexico City. Mexico City is enormous, though, and it's one of those places that, the crowd, the atmosphere is going to be electric. And it has been for those games that are played there. But if you could pick some place where you would play, where are you picking? Have you had some time to find one of your favorite international fields?
I have. I actually found like 6.
Oh my God, let's go. What do you got?
All right, so we have the Intercontinental Baseball Stadium.
That just sounds amazing. Where's that
located in Taichung City, Taiwan.
Okay.
This thing has like some beautiful, like, I don't even know how to describe them, but the most interesting part about Intercontinental Baseball Stadium, Derek, is the Sphere in Las Vegas?
Mm-hmm.
They have like a slightly smaller version, and it's just a baseball. They have a gigantic sphere-sized baseball outside of their...
That's amazing.
Yeah, stadium. That's incredible. The Tianmu Baseball Stadium looks awesome as well. There's like a mountain right behind it. I believe that's also in Taiwan. There's just a mountain directly behind center field. Looks incredible as well there, Derek.
I want this, and I want to have our guy Yumin Lin starting in these games. Right?
That'd be beautiful.
I mean, that would be incredible. I also trying to find the name of it right now. It is the Hiram Bithorn Stadium in my home island of San Juan, Puerto Rico. It's a beautiful, beautiful ballpark, and it's historic. It's been around since 1962. It's quality when it's lasted that many hurricane seasons there in San Juan. But it is, it's a fairly beautiful ballpark. They've played World Baseball Classic games there before, and I just need, honestly, any excuse to go home and eat tostones. That's pretty much what I'm looking for. I do intend on one of these days, by the way, Kevin, I was talking about this with Espo. I feel like with my connection, maybe with some of the Hispanic players on the Diamondbacks team, I need to bring them my tostones, which are world renowned, and allow them to try them and see if they can maybe get a rating on them from guys like Cattell and Lourdes. What do you think about that?
I'm 1,000% behind it. I think it needs to happen as soon as humanly possible. Like, how fast can we get a grouping of Diamondbacks together to taste some of Derek's home cooking?
I'm telling you, what I really want is just to go, like, when I travel, I really just want it to be an amazing city. I think that's the thing. Like, there's the situation right now, as you guys know, Kevin and I are both wrestling fans, right? It feels like WrestleMania has just completely fallen into the we're going to go to Las Vegas or we're going to go to New Orleans situation. And after some of the debacles they've had with WrestleMania in cold weather cities, I am for it. I am for going to those two cities. I will never, ever in my life turn down a trip to New Orleans or Las Vegas. It's the reason why baseball is eventually going to work there. And they don't even need a single actual fan that lives in that city in order to make it work. They'll just be people that travel there just to watch baseball games, and mostly to gamble on the little horses, the little plastic horse. Don't even get me started. But yeah, I'm excited for this because this felt like a series that never ever happened that is finally going to happen. So there's that. I also think that it's cool for the Diamondbacks to be, highlighted in one of these, like, international games. It's great. Most importantly, though, I think that, like, again, I joked about the Serpientes thing. Like, the Diamondbacks have a strong connection to our Hispanic community here in Arizona, and I think it's a great opportunity to grow the fan base for this team outside of the state and outside of the country. I mean, it's such loser talk for me to say this, but it's reality. The grip that the Los Angeles Dodgers are getting on the country of Japan is a competitive advantage. It's a problem. The Dodgers have even said, they've made it no secret that they want to go to Japan and they want to make every Japanese citizen a fan of the Dodgers, and they want every Japanese baseball player to grow up wanting to come to Major League Baseball to play for the Dodgers. It's very intentional, and they're utilizing that, series with the Cubs and their draw by having so many Japanese players on the team as a way to grow their franchise. Like, yes, it's growing the game of baseball. All of these international games are about growing Major League Baseball itself. But in the case of the Dodgers, they once again, it might be like always sinister. I mean, but they're just so savvy at what they're doing. They are, using an opportunity like that to be ambassadors of the game, but more importantly, ambassadors of the Los Angeles Dodgers franchise. And again, it works. It's something that will come into play in the decision of a lot of people. We know it comes into play in decision of so many of our baseball players. So many guys want to wear a Yankees jersey eventually, or they want to wear a Cubs jersey because it's a dream of theirs to grow as growing up as a young player to play for that particular franchise, right? It's not as strong as like a winning culture or money. It's not as strong as those things. Those things are still going to make a player want to play for that franchise more than the team they had a poster of on their room when they were a kid. But don't pretend like that doesn't matter. And again, in this case, it's a great opportunity for the Diamondbacks, should they go to Mexico City, to grow, their fan base, which is growing and is becoming a wonderful community, but needs to grow more, needs to grow beyond just the state of Arizona. And we need more fans. We need more fans like Dalton Feely screaming in other New York Yankees fans' faces on an away series like he did when Gino hit that home run bomb. So let's grow this team. Let's grow the franchise. Let's do what the Dodgers are doing and use this as a chance to be more about the Diamondbacks and growing, beyond the borders of Arizona rather than just growing the game of Major League Baseball. We're already deferring money, right, in Ketel's contract. So let's get on board. If you can't beat them, join them, right? Also, there's lots of other places I'd like to see a baseball game still played. This year, the big special game for Major League Baseball is going to be played at a race car track. So that's kind of fun. But I don't know. Is it too much to ask for them to play a game in the backyard next to where the Beast is from the Sandlot? Maybe. But one can still dream, right? We got the Field of Dreams game. Maybe one day we'll get it. I don't even care if it's on the back lot at a studio, a film studio in Los Angeles. I'll take it. I'll take whatever I can get to get a Sandlot game. But I'm leaving now. I'm going away. I'm going to literally turn my phone off and disappear for the next 3 days. But I will be back on Monday with another Mailbag Monday show. I think Dalton Feely is going to stop by for that one. We'll also have Damon on next week for some post-game shows, so I look forward to having some company on the show. I thank you guys so much for joining me. You guys are always rad. And, of course, big shout-out to my guy, Kevin Thomas, who, despite being a St. Louis Cardinals fan, is still a decent human being.
I still love my Dbacks, though.
I know you do. We're getting him. We're going to make him a sicko about baseball, and we're going to make all of you guys sickos about baseball. Of course, make sure to follow Kev on social media. He is at Kevo Posts. I am at Cap_Caveman with a K. Our show is at PHNX_Dbacks. But of course, as always, all roads lead to at PHNX_Sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We appreciate you guys so much. Look forward to what the Diamondbacks starting pitching can do here against the Nationals, and hopefully we get another series win. We will talk about it on Monday, so make sure to join us for that. Make sure to get all of your Mailbag Monday questions ready for us, because we're going to need them. We're going to need some good discussion topics here. So what do you got? You got anything, Kevin, before we get out of here?
Real quick, we're on the topic of international baseball and where you'd want to play baseball. What's a state that does not have a baseball team that you would love to watch a baseball game in? I was thinking Utah because of the mountains. I don't know if you've seen BYU's football stadium.
Yeah.
But it's incredible with the mountains right behind it.
Portland.
Portland. Ooh, that'd be good.
Portland.
That's a really good one.
Yeah, because especially with them wanting a team. Nashville, another great option. I think that's good. But honestly, yeah, I think Portland would be a great place to watch a baseball game. But I hope you guys enjoy tonight's game. No, Steven, I'm sorry, no post-game show tonight. I'm going to be far too high at a reggae festival for that. But I will try my best to get my stuff together before Monday. And until then, I appreciate you guys so much for stopping by. We will see you on Monday. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Go Diamondbacks. You behave yourselves. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when your starting rotation is what you thought it would be.
We all silly like the mayor.